Okay, hey YouTube. Right in front of me I have two of probably some of the best tablets I've actually reviewed, or best Android devices altogether. The one on my right here is the ainol Aurora 2 with an IPS screen, and on the left we have the Google Nexus 7 also with an IPS screen. And I mean, as you can see, they're both really nice, vibrant, lush displays. I'm going to turn up the brightness to max on both of these just so you can see that, the colours really pop. I mean, cameras, it's a bit too bright for the camera. I'll just keep it on the middle brightness. But, they're both gorgeous looking screens. Just for a quick price point comparison, you can get the ainol one for around £85, maybe £90 with free shipping from, say, China. And you can grab yourself a Nexus 7 for around £159 when I last checked on Google's own website. Benefits, I'll start with the benefits of the Google Nexus, which there are more of than for the other one, obviously because of the price. But the Nexus, to start with, if you buy from Google themselves, you'll get £15 to spend on anything you want in the Play Store, and $25 if you're in the US, which is, it's a great bonus. You probably will end up spending at least that much if you're buying a tablet, of this kind of power. You want to play some games, get the full Android experience. So, it's saving you 15 quid straight away, as well as you get a free movie and 2 free books as well. So that's a nice little extra. In terms of design, the Nexus 7 definitely has the better finish. Lift it into the light. The Nexus 7 basically has this very nice, almost leather kind of finish, which is very grippy, doesn't pick up any fingerprints, and feels really premium, compared to the ainol, which has a more plasticky finish, which doesn't at all feel cheap, but obviously it does pick up fingerprints and isn't quite as premium as the one we have over here, the Nexus. And the ainol, as you can see from the webcam being at the top, is meant for landscape orientation really, whereas the Nexus was kind of designed to be held like this. Just different ways of doing it, but obviously you can tilt it that way. Now, in terms of actual, just the slickness of your experience, the Nexus 7 wins hands down really. The ainol, as you can see, it is still a pretty smooth tablet. But it's nowhere near, it's not really in the same league. Look, for example, when you go onto your app drawer, it just pops in, it works well, but it's nowhere near as slick as, the very smooth, super slick and almost over animated kind of transitions we get with the Nexus 7. And so if you're a fan of just really smooth scrolling and just a generally really slick experience, this is going to be the tablet that's going to fit you a bit better. In terms of actual compatibility with apps, the Nexus 7 again, it wins, although it does still have some problems finding apps on the market, etc. That's kind of a problem generally with tablets at the in general, so I wouldn't fault it on that, whereas this tablet does seem to have some serious compatibility issues with the it's got a Mali 400 GPU, so if you're a big gamer it might put you off because there's going to be a lot of apps that you want to play but you can't just because it's not a very well known GPU. And in terms of just raw power, the Nexus again, it wins hands down. It's got a quad core Tegra 3 processor compared to just a dual core A9 processor. So not only has it got a better graphics, because it's nvidia's own graphics, but it also has a quad core instead of a dual core processor. So obviously again, in terms of raw power, this is better. And it almost doubles it in battery life, surprisingly. The actual, it would surprise you because the screen is gorgeous, the apps run so smoothly, it's so powerful, but it's got an amazing battery life. Really, it could last maybe 10-12 hours on a single charge, with proper usage, whereas the ainol, we're talking maybe 5 or 6, And I mean, there is an option on here to set your CPU onto performance mode, where it moves from 1.2 gigahertz to a solid 1.5, and that one will drain your battery within 3 hours. So, and that font, this maybe isn't such an impressive tablet. I mean, we'll do a quick gaming comparison. Let's, yeah. We'll compare the same game on both tablets. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, let's try Fruit Ninja HD then. It's not the ideal test, but let's just get both them. I'll do what I can. I've never actually done this before. The Nexus 7 screen feels a lot more responsive. The ainol seems to have a little bit of input lag, as well as just not detecting your fingers as well. As you can see, it's much more juttery, whereas the Nexus 7 has a very smooth kind of detection. And that's just a difference in quality of the screens, and there is a significant difference in the quality of the screens. And I mean, in almost every single kind of category I can think of, the Nexus 7 will win against the ainol. But I mean, there are actually some things in which this tablet would suit you better. I mean, not only from a price point of view, because I mean, you can get it for literally around half the price, so a significant difference, and it's almost unfair to compare the two like this. But this one will have HDMI, mini HDMI, so if you want to connect it to a big screen, that's going to be, you know, a really good feature for you. And I mean, you can get HDMI cables off eBay for £2-3. So I mean, some games just look gorgeous on a full HD screen, you know, all streamed out, and it's maybe worth doing if you're into that. The Nexus 7 has no such capability. On top of that, this one has a micro SD slot, which you can install up to a 32GB memory card, which for obviously a very cheap price, whereas the Nexus 7 doesn't have any slot at all, and neither does it have flash. So I mean, those people who like to watch embedded videos on internet pages, you won't be able to do it with this tablet until obviously you get a HTML5 browser, but you can with the Aurora. And the last thing is just that the Aurora, the colours are just a little bit more vibrant, and I mean, when you turn it up, the colours just pop just a little bit more. They just seem a little bit more lush and vivid, for want of a better kind of way of describing it. But yeah, so, but I mean, for the more polished experience, I would hands down go for the Nexus 7, because it's a full-blown Tegra experience, and you do get the absolute best kind of Android as it was meant to be, really. And you know, it's hands down the best Android device I've ever really used, which is saying quite a bit, because I have used a lot of Android devices. So that concludes it, really. Thanks for watching. Rate, subscribe, comment, like, whatever.